5 little ducks went out one day over the hill and far away. Mother duck said quack, 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 but only 4 little ducks came back. If you know this song, sing it with me, okay? I don't want to sing it alone. 4 little ducks went out one day over the hill and far away. Mother duck said quack, 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 but only 3 little ducks came back. 3 little ducks went out one day over the hill and far away. Mother duck said quack, 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 but only 2 little ducks came back. 2 little ducks went out one day over the hill and far away. Mother duck said quack, 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 but only 1 little duck came back. 1 little duck went out one day over the hill and far away. Mother duck said quack, 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 but no little ducks came waddling back. Sad Mother duck went out one day over the hill and far away. Mother duck said quack, and all the 5 little ducks came back. Oh, wow, Emily, you found some ducks. I did. Keep going, Teddy. Hello and welcome to Family Storytime. I am Teddy, and this is Emily. Emily is one of the many wonderful librarians and associate librarians at Hennepin County Library who have been doing virtual story time for the last year. Well, hello, and thank you, Teddy, for such a warm welcome. Thank you for warmly greeting our friends. Do you remember what we're going to talk about today? Quack, 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 quack. Mr. Peabody does, because today is his special day. He has been up since the quack of dawn. That's right. Today we are going to talk about ducks. Emily, how did Mr. Peabody get his name? Well, when he came to me, he had a t-shirt on that says, The Peabody, Memphis. He is from the historical fancy hotel in Memphis, Tennessee called the Peabody. It has been featuring a parade of ducks for 80 plus years. Really? Yes. If you were a duck, Teddy, wouldn't you want to swim in this elegant fountain that's in the lobby? I want to swim in it and I'm not even a duck. Well, every day up on the rooftop of the Peabody Hotel, there is a duck castle. And there live ducks. Every 3 months, the ducks get changed out and go back into the wild. But for 3 months, they're special guests at the Peabody Hotel. And every day at 11 a.m., the duck master rolls out the red carpeting and then shoos the ducks out of the palace, down into the elevator. And when they get off the elevator, they walk the red carpet past all of these happy children. Teddy, how many ducks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 ducks, just like in our song. And all day long, those ducks swim in the fountain. And they are fed duck seed. Oh. And at the end of the day, the duck master shoos them out of the fountain, down the red carpet, past a whole bunch of happy children. Wow! Emily, can we go see them in person? Maybe, if we're in the neighborhood. Oh, that would be really great. For now, Teddy, let's learn about ducks. See if you can learn some new words. Today's book is called Ducks by Gail Gibbons. New words are fun! New words are fun! New words are fun! Yes, they are, Teddy. See how many you can learn. A row of fluffy ducklings waddle behind their mother. She is heading toward more ducks. Ducks are one member of the waterbird family called waterfowl. A female duck is called a hen. A male duck is called a drake. Waterfowl have two important characteristics in common. One, they have webbed feet. Do you see the webbed feet? I do. And two, their feathers are waterproof. Waterproof? Yes, waterproof. A duck makes its feathers waterproof by rubbing them with a waxy oil from a gland near its tail called the preen gland. This oil repels water. Teddy, do you know what repels means? Is it like push away? Yes, or ward off. It's like insect repellent. It keeps mosquitoes away. Yes, Teddy, very good. Beneath the feathers is a lining of small fluffy feathers called down. The duck stays dry and warm. There are 150 different kinds of ducks in the world. Some are small and others are big. Many are brightly colored and others are not. But they all have the same basic body shape and characteristics. Ducks live on every continent except Antarctica. About 50 different kinds of ducks live in North America. Many live near fresh water like ponds, swamps, streams, rivers, and lakes. Others live near salt water. Often they are called sea ducks, and they can be found at sea as well as along ocean shores. Is it called salty water, Emily, because it's salty? Yes, Teddy. Scientists have divided ducks into two groups based on what they eat. Both groups live near freshwater and saltwater. First are the dabbling ducks. They usually feed in shallow water with their heads underwater and their tails tipping up. Like that guy right there. Their food is close to the water's surface. They eat water plants, seeds, insects, and small creatures such as worms and snails. Dabbling ducks float high on the surface of the water, and when taking off, they rise from the water quickly. The other group is called diving ducks. They dive completely underwater for their food, often 10 to 25 feet. Wow, Emily, that's way over even your head. Yes, it is. Their food includes water plants, fish, clams, and snails. Diving ducks float lower in the water than dabbling ducks. Because they have smaller wings, before taking off, they first must run along the surface of the water, like this guy is doing. Quack, quack, quack. Ducks make sounds to communicate with each other. Most female ducks quack, squawk, or squeal. Males usually make softer whistling sounds, grunts, or coos. Did you hear that, Mr. Peabody? Softer sounds. coo, coo. Grunt. Coo, coo, coo. Grunt. Sometimes ducks live in the same area year-round. Others fly to warmer places for the winter. This is called migration. And can we migrate this winter, Emily? Maybe to Memphis? We'll see, Teddy. In the spring, they return to the same place where they were hatched and raised. The ability to return to the same place year after year is called homing behavior. It's because they're coming home! Good one, Teddy. Some ducks migrate short distances, others fly thousands of miles, following the same route year after year. These routes are called flyways. like highways, except they're in the sky. That's right, Teddy, flyways. The ducks stop at the same feeding grounds along the way every time. In the springtime, most ducks return to their breeding grounds where they will mate and raise their young. The mallard is the most common duck in the world. That's like you, Mr. Peabody. Like other drakes, the mallard drake uses its colorful feathers to attract its mate. It also likes to show off by shaking its head and tail. And by shaking its head and tail and splashing water around with its bill. Emily, Mr. Peabody's trying to attract a mate. Nesting time begins. And the mallard hen builds her nest on the ground using grasses, seeds, reeds, mosses, and leaves. Then she lines it with down feathers from her breast to make it soft. The drake protects the nesting area from enemies. Soon, the hen begins laying one egg a day until there are 10 to 12 eggs. She sits on the eggs to keep them warm so they can develop. This is called incubating. The color of her dull feathers blends in with her surroundings to keep her hidden from enemies. This is called camouflage. If she has to leave the nest, she covers her eggs with down to keep them warm and safe. In about 3 to 4 weeks, the ducklings peck their way out of their eggshells. This is called hatching. Their eyes are open and their bodies are covered with thick, soft down. Most of the time, the first moving thing a duckling sees is its mother. The duckling instinctively will follow her where she goes. When they are just a few hours old, ducklings are ready to follow their mother, feed themselves, and begin swimming. The drake, that is the male duck, is gone. He doesn't help raise the young. A group of ducklings is called a brood. The mother keeps her brood together and protects them from enemies such as raccoons, hawks, foxes, snapping turtles, and other animals. The ducklings grow quickly. In about 6 weeks, they have all their feathers. At about 2 months old, they are full grown and able to fly. When winter begins to set in, they will be ready to fly south with the other ducks. Ducks by Gail Gibbons. Did you learn something from that book? Are you ready for the questions? Oh, yes, yes. Okay. What is the name of the family that the ducks belong to? I forgot. Do you remember? Waterfowl. Oh, yeah, I remember now. And what kind of feet do ducks have? Webbed, but it has nothing to do with spiders. Okay. Do you remember what makes a duck's feathers waterproof? Is it oil? Yes, it is, Teddy. Oil from its preen gland. Oil repels water. Scientists have divided ducks by what they eat into how many groups? 2. Hear the words of science. Classes are divided into orders. Orders are divided into families. Families are divided into genus. Hear the words of science. Do you remember the names of the 2 groups, Daddy? Is one of them diving? Yes, diving. Diving ducks go deep down for their food. And what's the other kind? I forgot. Do you remember? Dabbling. Oh yeah, now I remember dabbling ducks. They feed in the shallow water. That's right, Teddy. Now, what is the word for traveling with the seasons? I know, migration. And we are going to migrate to Mr. Peabody's hotel if we are in the neighborhood. And do you remember the name for a baby duck? Duckling, that's easy. And what is its mother called? A hen? Yes, a hen. Good, Teddy. And do you remember the name of its father? Mr. Peabody. Teddy, it's a drake. Emily, why do ducks lay eggs? I don't know. Because if they dropped them, they would break. What do you get if you mix ducks with fireworks? Firecrackers! Coo, coo, grunt, grunt. What do you call a group of ducklings? Do you remember, Teddy? A brood. Emily, what is a duck's favorite kind of movie? A documentary! Quack, 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 quack. Teddy, where do you get these riddles? I asked Siri for duck jokes. Here's another. What is a duck's favorite ballet? The Nutcracker! Oh, Teddy, you quack me up. All right, then. I think we're ready to move on to some fiction. That means like make-believe. It was really hard for me to choose a good book because there's so many. Every single one is my favorite. So take a screenshot. These are 2 of my favorites. And then I was wandering around Franklin Library and I stumbled across a brand new book called The Tale of the Mandarin Duck. So please, if you need to pause the video, we'll be here. Take a stretch. Let's do the worm dance again. Yeah, shake your body out, and we'll have just a few minutes more of this story time to get through this delightful book. Okay, we're ready. These are my glasses, this is my book. I put on my glasses and I open up the book. And I read, 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 and I look, look, look. Then I take off my glasses and whoop, shut the book. The Tale of the Mandarin Duck by Bette Midler. Emily's in love with movie stars. Yes, Bette Midler. Photographs. by Michiko Kakutani. This is a story of rare birds, both feathered and human. Once upon a time, not very long ago, there was a great city built on an island. It was famous for its people. There were many kinds of people living there. Artists, writers, salespeople and stockbrokers, people who worked with their hands, butchers, bakers, and perfume makers, people who drove cabs, trucks, and trains, people who fixed streets and cleaned streets. So many different kinds of people doing so many different kinds of things. But no matter what they did, these people were world famous for their liveliness. They talked to each other everywhere, in elevators, on subways, in restaurants. They would gather in little groups on street corners and tell each other jokes, or discuss the daily news of their city and laugh uproariously. They yelled, they sang, and they generally had a good time. They looked each other in the eye and pretty much liked what they saw. Then an invention came into their lives. It was a new version of an old invention. It was a telephone. But you didn't have to put in a quarter or go somewhere special to use it. No, you could carry it in your pocket or purse or backpack. And with this telephone, any question you could think of could be answered. Any song could be heard. Any person on earth could be found. And most important, it was a camera. And you could photograph anything and everything, especially yourself. Oh, everybody really liked that. It wasn't long before everyone in the city had one. I bet you know some people who have a phone like this. You might even have one yourself. In a very short time, people were not the same. All of them were bent over the small screen in their hand. It was as if nothing else existed. And then one day, something happened that changed many people in the city, maybe forever. A new bird came to town. No one had ever seen a bird like this. Now, many birds are beautiful, but this bird, it was extraordinary. It was a mandarin duck. When bird lovers heard he was in the pond, they ran to see him. Word spread about the duck, and soon people began flocking to look at him. Wouldn't you? It was the most exciting thing to happen to the city in a long time. How did the duck get there? Where did the duck come from? Who was this duck? The crowds were immense. Everyone had their phones up taking pictures of the mandarin duck. And then, one day, a kid in the crowd said very loudly, "I am going to see this with my own 2 eyes." And then she put her phone away and just watched the mandarin duck be what he was. Something so rare he had to be seen with your own 2 eyes and remembered with your heart. So the grown-ups put their phones down too. And they just watched. They watched long and hard. What an effect this bird had on people. They just loved him. As the crowds left the park, they talked about what they had seen with their own 2 eyes. They talked about that with their friends and with strangers too. Little groups of people began to gather to discuss how wonderful it was to see such a rare and beautiful sight with their own 2 eyes. And soon after that, the people put their phones away. Their old habits returned. They talked, they laughed, and sometimes they even sang. They looked each other in the eye and they pretty much liked what they saw. And all because of the mandarin duck. And then, one day, the mandarin duck flew away. Everyone missed him, but he had worked his magic. He had reminded the people in the city, the artists, the writers, the butchers, the bakers, the perfume makers, and everyone else to look at the world with their own 2 eyes. And if they did, they would see that all around them are rare and beautiful birds, with and without feathers. Teddy, did you like it?
Oh, yes. The photographs were phenomenal. Did I say that right this time?
Yes, you did, Teddy. I really like the contrast between the photographs and the black and white drawings. Emily, what is a fable? Well, a fable, Teddy, is a cautionary tale that often uses animals to show human characteristics.
Cautionary? Like a warning? What's it a warning about?
Well, Teddy, why don't we let our friends talk about the answer to that question? For now, let's just say thank you, caregivers, for talking, singing, reading, writing, and playing with your children.
And if you want to see what Emily forgot in last time's Storytime on Worms, go to Teddy Talks Trailer on YouTube. It's hilarious. Just be careful that you're not drinking your milk when you watch it.
Goodbye, friends.
Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. It's time to say
Goodbye.
quack, coo, 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 grunt.